Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and this will be the last video of this series, which usually revolves around the APIs and the source code of Swim. And in this video, we will learn how to export our functions, custom functions, or the built-in functions in Python uh, or in any other programming language. But for the purpose of demonstration, I'm using Python because it is widely used programming language and it's pretty easy to learn and easy to use. But you can use this particular logic with any other programming language as well. For example, JavaScript, C Sharp, C++, or any other programming language. But for the purpose of demonstration, we will use Python. And what we will do is uh, we, we will export this particular function which we created in the previous video to Python, and then we will use it in Python to retrieve a particular node object using its ID. And yeah, let's start with that. First major change which we need to do to our function is to um, change the return type. So for the purpose of efficiency, we were returning a memory address, which is memory address of T-node data object. But as we will be working with Python for uh, the purpose of simplicity, we will return a T-node uh, object instead of a pointer. Pointer is basically a memory address. So instead of returning a memory address, we will return the object itself. Okay, so I will just remove all the pointers from here and we are good to go. So I'll compile it. Sorry. I will compile this project and I'll open the folder and I'll find the binary, which is this one, and the lib file. And what I will do is I'll paste it inside a folder which I have created. So I have created a new project. So I have created this particular folder, SWMM extension, and I have opened this particular folder in Visual Studio Code, VS Code. VS Code is a code editor, and you can use it to program various programming languages. And yeah, it makes programming pretty easy. And I will write my Python code in this particular file. Other thing which I will need is the INP file. Okay, I will copy this as well. I'll paste it over here. So now I have my lib file, and I have my DLL file from the C project, and that's all what I will need. And then the SWMM INP file for testing my API. And now I will create a new Python file, text file, SWMM5 Python. You could see it has created a file over here. First thing is as we are importing a library from C, we need to import a library called as C types. Okay. Next thing is we need to define the uh, node data structure. So in C, we have defined it over here in objects.h, and you could see on line 491 to line 529, we have defined this node data structure or data type, um, and in C we call it as struct, and we need to replicate or make a blueprint of this particular struct in uh, Python. So what I will do is will create a blueprint, and that will be done by creating a class, and we'll name it same as the one in C. And then I will write, so Copilot has started to spit out suggestions. But first, what we will do is we'll use C types, okay, and then dot structure. So C type is we can use C type because we have imported this particular library C type, and in that we have structure. We are using structure because T node is a struct in C. So over here we have defined it as a struct. So if we need to create a blueprint in Python, we need to specifically tell the C type library that we want to create a struct from C. And yeah, after that, underscore fields, we need to define all the fields. And we'll write equal to, then in square bracket, we will start defining our fields, which are all these fields which we have defined in C. Okay, first one is ID, and the type of ID is string or char pointer. So what I will do is copy this, paste it over here, and write what is its data type. So its data type is char pointer. In C types, I will write C underscore char underscore P, which will represent char pointer. Next is type, and type is a int data type. So paste it, and it is C type dot C underscore int, and we can keep on doing this until we um, replicate all the fields from C to Python. For these ones, we might need to explicitly create another data type for uh, external inflows and dry weather flow inflow data. But the yeah, for the purpose of simplicity, what I will do is I will just create blank pointers. Yeah, I have already done that. I will just copy paste the code. Okay, so external flow, dry weather inflow. What I've done is I have created blank pointers or void pointers instead of creating pointers of that particular uh, struct. I've created a void pointer, and this is for the case of for the purpose of simplicity. For actual production quality code, this might not work because we might need to reference to a particular structure or struct which represents the external inflow, DWF flow, and RDI inflow. Yes. Uh, and same for these two fields as well. We have created void pointers. No, this is a double pointer to a double. But yeah, next thing is we will create a variable to store the DLL, or we will create a variable to reference the DLL. So I will name it as SWMM5, and then you can use C types. So this C type library actually helps us in converting all the C data types to Python data types. Okay. Uh, I can write the name of uh, the DLL, or what I can do is I will copy the full path of the DLL, and yes, and yeah, we are good to go. So whenever I need to find any function from the DLL, this particular DLL, I can just reference to this variable. For example, um, I want to create a variable which will reference to SWMM open. What I can do is, yes, SWMM5. I'm referencing to this particular DLL, and I'm telling Python to find this particular function, which is in main we have used it. So I'm telling Python to define this, no, this particular function SWMM underscore open, and for that I've used this particular code. Uh, but we haven't told Python what inputs Python will require to run that particular function. So uh, for that, we need to use SWMM open, then argument types, and in that uh, we need to input the argument types. So if we look at this particular function SWMM open, when we have used it in our main application, we have given it three input parameters, and all three of them are char pointers. Okay, and then what I will do is I will write C type, then C underscore char pointer. Okay, and now we need to tell Python what it should expect when it runs this particular function. So what is the return type? If I go to my C application or C source code, and okay, over here we don't have the return type, but if we go to the definition in .h file or .c file, okay, so over here I can see what is the return type. It is int, or I can go in this file as well. WMM underscore open. Okay, so this is the definition of the function, and it is returning error code if it encounters any error. Otherwise, yes. Uh, and over here you could see the return type has been defined as int. So the return type would be SWMM open dot res type. This is how we define what would be the return type, and return type would be the int c types dot c underscore int. Okay, so this means that return type would be c integer. C underscore int means the return type is c integer. C underscore char underscore p means the return type, the data type is c char pointer. This is for the open function. Now let's try to define the node function. So where is the node function? Yes. So we are not returning a pointer. So what I will do is I'll rename the function to SWMM get node instead of get pointer. Again, in H file, I will rename it from get node pointer to get node. And in main, as well. It will throw an error. I have renamed it. I will, as I have renamed it, I need to recompile it. And as I have recompiled it, I need to copy the DLL, the new DLL to my Python project. Over here, I will replace it. Okay. Now in Python, I will create a variable of same name. Get sorry of I will create a variable of same name as the function in C, and I will get it. This is how I'm declaring it. Now I will write what are the arguments. This is wrong. The input argument is the name of the node, which will be a char pointer uh, or a character pointer. So for that, I will write c types dot c underscore char underscore p, which represents the char pointer. And what would be the return type? Return type would be a node data type, which is this particular class. So for that, I will WMM get node dot res type. It will be a T node. Okay. So we are good to go now. Uh, this is our ground up or groundwork. Our actual code will start over here. Okay. Okay. I'll do is I'll just. So how do we write comments in Python? Okay. And uh, mm, let's open a INP file SWMM open. And okay, so first I will define a INP file. Let's name it as F1 file 1, and I will right click this particular file and copy its path, and I'll paste it over here. Okay. And I'll just copy the line and rename the last part as rpt out, name the variable to f3. Now we'll open the file and I will try to find the node, and one let's name the node as n1 node 1, and I will use the function swim get node, which we have defined over here. And um, we will use the node id j1 for j1 junction. So we have this particular j1 junction, and you can see the elevation for this particular junction is 4969 and max depth is 4. Uh, what I will do is I'll print the elevation. Okay. And one, what is the, yes, so this is the field name that, will- that we will use to print, and we will also print ID as well. what I'll do is I will add a breakpoint and I will run this particular file. Uh, You can use any Python IDE to run this particular code. All you need is import C types. Uh, in any Python integrated development environment, you will be able to add a debug point and run. There are lots of resources available out there how to set up a Python development environment. What I will now do is I will just run it in debug mode. How do we do that? Yes, I will click here, run debug. I've already set up a Python environment. Yes, there is some issue. Okay, so G is capital over here. In our C code, it's capital. So I think that is where we did the mistake. I'll rerun it again. And yes, we have hit our breakpoint. And this is where we are trying to retrieve a node object from our swim source code, which is in C. And the object will be stored in a variable called n1. We don't see that variable yet. But if I step over, you can see the n1 variable has appeared. And I can actually go through this particular instance of the class T node and see all its attributes. And interesting thing is I can see the invert elevation. And if I go to the INP file, and J1 has invert elevation of 4969. You can see it has elevation 4969. Max depth is 4. I think max depth is full depth in the fields. And yes, so basically we were able to uh, use our C function, and using that C function we were able to retrieve certain objects. I have completed running the code, so now it has also printed the ID as well as the elevation. And this is how you create a custom function or custom API in C and then port it or wrap it in Python. So what we have basically done is we have created a wrapper for our C function, and we have used it in Python. And I think I hope this video was useful. You find it interesting, and uh, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye.